What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well and watching some Sunday night football. So, thought I'd make a quick video about all the different sports cards apps that are out there and show you it on the phone and on the website, all the different variations. And I hear people constantly talking about, how do I track my collection, or how do I comp my card, value my card. Comps, it comes from real estate, short for comparable sales. And most of the time, you have to use more than just one place because things are sold in different areas, just like, houses. You can't use Zillow as the guidepost because you need more granular detail on that. So I thought I would go over all the different ones that are out there. I made a infographic and kind of quickly go through this and actually show you. I'll put the graphic up underneath the video to let you study it more in detail. But I'll start off with the first one, a Sports Cards Pro. This is the one that's here on my screen right now on my iPhone. And here is their web version. For me, I'm looking for an app that allows me to track it on my phone, take pictures on my phone, and it saves it to the database, and it has card recognition capabilities to automatically tell me what the card is, and then also to track the database and have a website version. So not all the time you're on your phone, you want to work on your computer. I need that to go back and forth to do both things. So this is not a recommendation for one over the other. It's just my personal opinion on what I like and what works for me so far. And that could change in time as things develop. I'm not affiliated or associated with any of the apps on here whatsoever. So this is just a non-biased opinion. Well, opinions are kind of biased inherently, aren't they? That's what makes them opinions. So let's just get going. So price charting, sportscardspro.com is what they call it. I personally have subscribed to each and every one I'm going to show you for the period, or just long enough to be able to test the apps out. This one I actually kept on and use it as my main go-to. I pay, I think, either $6.99 a month or $9.99 a month. And the camera recognition on it is my least favorite on here because it does struggle at times recognizing things. And I'll show you how it works. You can just scan, and sometimes it'll find it, but things with the shimmer and shine struggle. So we got close this time. It's not the exact prism, but now I can search the variations. Sometimes it doesn't pull up all the variations, but at least now I know that it's the Otani 41. Of course, I could have turned it over and looked at, typed it myself, but a lot of times if you're out at a card show, you can only take a picture of the front of the card, and they're not going to turn the card over for you. So at least gives you that value to go with there. But if we did Otani number 41, and I got to go quicker here to show them all to you. We can see all the different prisms there, and you can also see the different of 10, of 5 as well. And then you can click just that button there to add it to your collection, or drill down further and add it to your collection. So if I wanted to add this here, even though it's not my one, I'll add it. Then on the left here on the screen, I can go to my collection, and you see it pops up right then, and it shows it the value is, and you can see the ungraded sold listings when they happened, and you can drill all the way down to the eBay site. Now eBay doesn't always have everything there. That's on them. I don't hold any card app hostage for that. But also, like, if you want to look at all the 2022 Panini Prism, you can click there, and there's a list of all the Prism. So this app overall, and again, it's not a deep dive, so I'm just going to breeze through it. I've already been talking for a couple minutes. This app overall gets me what I need to do because I can go back and forth, and it's also on your iPad too if you need that as well. So the next one is going to be Card Ladder. I know a lot of folks use this. For me, I've had a lot of issues with this. I really want to like it, but it has been difficult for me to like it, I guess. I do love the amount of data they give you the volumes, what have been sold. But adding items to your collection is extremely frustrating for me. It does not find items that you search for very well, and they do not have a scanning feature on there. This particular Stroud I put in several months ago, and at one point I had a value in there. It still says minus $60 change when I've had no value associated with it. It's a little laggy like that. Then all of these other ones, you can see they're old NBA cards, early 90s wax. And a lot of these I tried to import, it can't find them. And then, I'm sorry, a lot of them I tried to input, it can't find them. And then I did an import from a CSV formatted to their specifications, and it still can't find them. It did find one of these Jordans down here, and to show you one nice feature about this is, of course, all of these have your change and potential profit based upon what you bought and sold it for. But the index, it's very nice to see the index. You can see the sales stats for Michael Jordan. Obviously, it's a lot. He's very liquid. And then the cards, you can see the score of what Card Ladder calls it a score. I would caution to be very careful with basing your entire opinion on a card based upon any one app's score of an item. I'm not saying it's not useful, but I'm saying if it's your hard work money, I wouldn't base the entire reason for you to buy something is based upon an app score. The golden rule is always going to be your sold sales, which you're going to get from 130 point, and then even better if you do the eBay sold listings and then other auction house sold listings. It's always going to be your best bet. So whichever one is the best aggregator of all of those together will give you a better collection, a better representation, if you will. Sorry, I'm talking fast. I've not really done videos, so it's a learning thing for me too. Got nothing to hide, just learning and loving the sport. So the next one is cardstock, and it's card hedge stock. So cardstock, they don't have a website at all. I've looked through this, and I don't have a lot necessarily good or bad to say about it. I will say that their camera feature is fairly useful. If I could actually find it again. So to scan, I believe this is the one that auto scans. Let's just try this one where you don't press anything and it does it on its own. Let's see. Nope. All right, so we're going to click it. Oh, it's the back as well on this one. So that means we really should see the result if it's going to get front and back. Okay, looks like it's a new card, so maybe they can't find it. But to me, if it's been out, you know, a month in this hobby, things move really fast in this hobby. So, but cards have been out longer. I will say they've done well with scanning it. Recent sales, it's okay, but you have to do this drop down, and that's to me a lot of work. That sounds lazy, but I kind of want to be able to see things exactly on one screen. And again, for me, it's kind of a no-go because I can't use it on my computer. Same goes with the Ludex. It does not have a comparison computer app on there. However, their scan feature is the best and by far so far. I don't like that you have to pick the exact hobby. As to me, a picture is a picture; it should know. But I've yet to hardly stump this one. It identifies cards very well. In fact, I do a lot of my card identification using Ludex, and then once I get the actual card number and the details on it, I can then go put it in my other programs that I use. But A+ on their camera for them. Adding it in, it's not horrible. You can't look at it back on your computer. So this is, I like that you have the parallels. Sometimes parallels are missing here. That's okay. I'm sure going to add them one day. I do like that the sales that they're saying here, which we'll assume they're sales, they say eBay on there. Always be careful it's not eBay live listings, bids, anything like that, because that'll get you messed up and you'll think your card's worth 10 times more than it really is, but you're looking at somebody who's listed something that it's not worth near that. So be very careful. Always make sure it's comp sales. So this one seems like it works well and went straight to the site. So very good on that. Don't have a lot of other features that I say are mind blowing on this, except for the camera works well, and the collection you have to scroll down to find baseball, and then you can kind of see it there. So it's so in my opinion. Next we have Card Hedge, which does have I really thought they had. I think I did a trial and it wouldn't let me in here unless I did a trial on here. So that's not very professional of me. Regardless, I found it quite clumsy in many ways. It does have the scan, and this is definitely the one that does an auto thing. So you hold it there and it will eventually kick back the answer to you. And I'm full of empty promises. Use photo. Let's see if we can find an old school Nolan Ryan with a dog. Hey, look at that. So, okay, we got this. So on this, it was okay. I guess up here is where you try to add it to collection. Oh, I think this is the problem I was having before, and you're just seeing me live here, and you can definitely come at me. I'm open to learning, but okay. I did give this one a trial. I just didn't like it when it told me I had a free 7-day trial, and as soon as I did 7-day trial, it charged me $10. So I was like, eh. So I'm sorry, Card Hedge. If you ever see this, I'll definitely give it a go again. All right, Center Stage. See here. They have this app here. It doesn't really do anything. And I believe Center Stage is camera feature was okay on this one. I tried this card again. That's what it was. I didn't like how whenever as soon as I'm looking at the card, there's not a lot of recent transactions. Like I know these cards are liquid and have sold in the past. Here, let's just look at an old one together live and see what happens. What we got here? Let's do Wade Boggs. And all right, so that was the auto one. It found it. And so we have one recent transaction and then one PSA 9 recent transaction. For me, I want to see a lot more data than just that. So let's do add to collection and then, okay, raw. I want to do one. So it's in my collection. Now what can I do with it? Oh, it's just give me suggestions on other ones, but what about more data on my card? It's opening my, so yeah, it just wasn't very successful for me. This is I'm rambling now, sorry. Okay, 130 point. If you get anything out of this, you need to get 130 point out of it because it's the least sexy UI. It's not the easiest thing to use. However, it is the most legitimate data out there, and I would get very familiar with it. It does have a scan feature on theirs. It's not the greatest, but it is rudimentary and can a lot of times get the job done. You have to hold it out though. You can't get close, it'll get blurry. So if you have to hold it out and then you have to zoom in, and then it will look. It also has a very nice, I guess it's a SQL database in there, I'm not sure. So it didn't really find that exact card. It found Bobby Witt, but not that exact card. So let's just go over all marketplace sales. So when you search, you can see here there's a lot of different limiters and delimiters you can use. You can get down to, let's just go to this one here. Looks like I searched that one time. Normally on other ones, I would not search gold rainbow in them because it might be too specific for a lot of different apps, but not for 130 point. They can delineate that, and it will find, if you use all marketplace sales, which I would suggest, especially if you're dealing with high dollar, I would suggest that. What I don't like, and it could be a good thing if you think about it, because sometimes, you know, we do need to think and use our brain. It doesn't give you an aggregate of what the cards are worth as far as maybe the 10 last sales, what the average sales were. It just gives you the actual data, sold price, sold price. This also, if you go to eBay, they don't always on eBay reveal if they have a item with a buy it now function on there. Not all the time do they reveal what the buy it, I'm sorry, with the offer function. They don't reveal what the offer was for. And you might think it sold for what they had it listed, but it actually sold for less in many cases. 130 point does show what it actually sold for. And if anybody has any further info on that, I'm more than welcome to hear, because I'm always about learning and growing because I want to be better. So I appreciate it. Back here on the one that I use all the time, see, these are not very liquid cards. Let's go to my collection, find a liquid card. All right, old Daryl Strawberry, 1990. You can see the amount of cards sold here. Sorry, this is the PSA 10 right here. I love seeing it all in one spot, and the date, and you're able to click on it and it take you to eBay. Again, eBay's changed a lot of their policies and don't always reveal things. But on the ungraded here, you can see it's giving you your average out of all of these, your PSA 10, I'm sorry, over here, your average of all these. It's nice if you're just, you know, like I said, out at a show or quickly trying to figure out what a card's worth, maybe doing a fast trade. Hey, it's about 33 bucks for a PSA 10. That's nice to know. Do, you know, more diligent research if you're, you know, spending money on anything like that. But it's a nice starting place, if you will. All right, next up we have CollX, and they don't have anything on the site. And I know a lot of folks use this and are very happy with it. For me, you're going to like it a lot if you want to do your trading and collecting on CollX, because they're really pushing their internal marketplace, and I have, you know, no problem with that at all. But just like over here on Card Ladder with the Jordan, their score, be careful making, you know, different choices based upon what they're telling you this card is worth, unless you know exactly where they're pulling this data from. So I will say I do like on here their camera feature, because you can put in multiple cards very quickly. And I want to do front only. So got a strawberry, got LaRussa. I think I've already added that one in there. So these are all from, I think these are 88 and 90 tops. but you can see how quickly I'm able to do this. That's to me the best feature about. So then you can go through and look at each one. I don't like the part where you might think, okay, this is what my card's worth, is what they're selling for and everything. However, unless you click on every single one of these, and if you're an expert on knowing what condition your card is in, then you're not getting a really helpful answer on putting value to the card. Great scanner feature, very nice. It doesn't always get it. Older cards, it does well. Anything new, it will struggle, and you'll end up having to go through, put everything in, and that's just kind of a trade-off for it. But to me, having to do this to know the condition of my card exactly, and then know how to price it is tough. And I'm wondering if that's just based upon their own internal recent listings. Okay, so these are external, that's eBay. So these other ones are from inside CollX. So if you're a trader in CollX, you have that, then here's eBay. And I know for sure they've sold George Brett since 11/1/2023. So that's a little in question to me. But not a horrible app, because it does have a fairly robust system. And looking at your collection, you have to do a lot of backs to get to there. Looking at your collection is somewhat okay. I guess it just depends on what you're using it for. I like this view a lot, though. I'll give them props for this view. It's easy to see everything in one spot like that. I wish Sports Cards Pro did that, because it would be nice, because we all want to look at the cards. So, all right, on to market movers. All right, they do have both app and website. I really have wanted to like this, but I can't imagine trying to put 1,000 or 2,000 cards into this database. If you want to add a card, first of all, you can only scan graded cards. It does not scan anything raw. So let's just scan a graded one here. So, of course, it found it, because I'm sure it's pulling from the number there. I do like if you ever get to this point, but to get to this point right here is very tough, because you can't do this on the site. I love this feature right here, that you can do that and see all the different gradings and what they're going for. That's why I wanted this site to work so much. But you can only get there pretty much on graded cards, some raw cards, but their database seems to be so limited, and it doesn't pull very well from there. So if you're over here and you want to add a card, so I click add, I've got a search, do this right here. So let's choose that one. It pre-fills some of the things there. Then you have to click next. You have to put in price if you want. Then you have to choose a photo to use, or use a price. Then you have to do this, then further data, and then you can add it. So it's about 4 clicks just to add a card. And for me, I'm wanting to get a card in pretty quickly and then move on. It's too many steps, and then I don't get, like, my view here, I'm not even getting any details about my cards on the collection view. It's just the pictures. I do have this graph here saying they're worth, whatever. But most of the time I come in here and I search for a car, and it will not find it in its featured charts, which I think is what they're trying to build on, is the featured charts. And it's nice. You can then, well, maybe you can't switch. I don't know. but you can't find cards here. It'll bump you over to sales history all the time and just show you sales history. I do like going to the deals tab every day and seeing things that have big percentage movers and just interesting. I have actually bought one time off of that. Not through them, it led me to eBay. So that's something it's not bad. I can't say it's worth spending monthly money on. So last but not least is Sports Card Investor, and uh, this is a lot for me. There's a lot of activity on the homepage, just ads, videos, and ads and videos, and it's extra for me personally. Not knocking them, would love to, all these companies. I would love to know more and work with them, and I'm sure us in the community would love to help and feedback. We're the ones that are using it. So there is no way to have your database sync from the app here, and the app itself is, I can't hardly find how to put a card in. I do like the feature here. You can see all Nolan Ryan cards, but you can only, see me, I'm only going left to right. That's all you can do. You can't go up or down. There's no list feature. It's just, and do you happen to land on a Nolan Ryan card that you want? And I don't know what the purpose of that is. And then you can see here, there's no way to add anything to a collection. So I guess this is all just about selling here. So I did a shuffle mode. So I guess if I put in somebody's name, then it's going to do a shuffle for that. I can look at Macho Man, but it's only giving me one option. So I've not found a reason to spend money. Again, not knocking anybody or anything, just for me. I've not seen the value in it. But like I said, to cap this all off, for me personally, I use Sports Cards Pro. That keeps collection of my entire database. I can see everything on one screen in the app as well. I do use Ludex a lot for their camera scan feature because they can tell me that card very quickly. A lot of times I can't get to the back info, especially if somebody's posting on Facebook. I want to know what it is. I will show you a trick later how to do that, how to value cards you find online where you can't look at either way. But the gold standard is you're always going to want to double check 130. And if you don't know, I'll just do raw search. Let's just go to this right here. And your best bet, again, this is not about comping cards. It's about apps to use. If you don't want to spend any money on any app, you at least need to do this. Type in what you're looking for and go to advanced, go to sold items, and then search. Can't make a comp on a card off a listed item or a pending item or an item that's being bid. That's not what it's worth. It hasn't sold yet. It's worth something once it sells, because my home's not worth $1 million, but I could list it for $1 million all day long, but no one's going to purchase it. So therefore, it's not worth $1 million. It's worth what someone will pay for it. So don't want any apps at all. I suggest getting really good at looking at eBay sold items. All right, I welcome feedback, and I'd love to start a conversation. Any tips or any tricks anybody else knows? I know this video is long, but I didn't know how else to get all this information out in one time. I want to grow and learn, and give me feedback. I can take the negative as long as there's some constructive stuff with it too. So thanks, everybody. Have a good night.